Hi everyone, my name's Anthony Cummins and I'm a historical researcher and author on the Ninja, and I'm working today with Stefan from the Japan at War channel, and we're very happy to bring to you the possibility of spying espionage in Korea. Now I am going to be working from this book, which is the Book of Corrections here, and it's the reflections on the national crisis during the Japanese invasion of Korea 1592 to 1598, and it's Korean Research Monograph 28. So that's what we're going to be going through. Now Stefan is going to be telling you all about this book, and he's going to read you the passage because I cannot pronounce the Korean names. I'm terrible at this, so he will read it for me and we will discuss that. So first of all, here's Stefan with an understanding and introduction of the historical document we're using, and then he's going to read the quote.
Well, trust me, I'm still working on my Korean pronunciation. Okay, so this book was written by Yu Song-young during the Imjin War itself. Of course, with any period source, you should understand the context as well as the personal biases of said writer. Now, thankfully, this isn't an issue in this passage at all. Oh, and the time period is before February 6, 1593. The Japanese are still currently in control of Pyongyang. Okay, so let's begin on page 151. We arrested Kim Sul-yang, a spy of the enemy. When I was in Anju, I sent a secret message to the Navy commander Kim Ok-chu through Song-nam, one of my military officers. The message was about the secret plan to attack the enemy, and it happened on January 2nd, 1593. I said to my messenger, "You make sure that this same message be returned within 6 days." However, even though 6 days had passed, the message was not brought back to me, and I summoned Song-nam to inquire about the matter. He answered, "I have already returned it through Kim Sul-young, a soldier from Kangso." I also summoned Kim Sul-young and asked him about the message. He pretended that he did not know anything about it and proved himself a liar by talking nonsense. Song-nam said, "A few days after taking the message from me, this man returned to the camp, bringing a cow with him. He slaughtered it and ate it with his comrades. They asked him, 'Where did you get the cow?' He answered, 'It is mine. It has been in the care of my relatives. I have brought it back.' Thinking of his words, I feel suspicious. I immediately ordered a thorough investigation regarding the suspect. And finally, Kim confessed, 'I am a spy working for the enemy. On the night I took the message and other secret documents, I went directly to Pyongyang to show them to the Japanese. The enemy general told me to leave the papers on his table, and after reading them, destroyed them all except your message. He gave me a cow as a reward, and So Ho-young, who is a spy like myself, 5 pail of silk. We promised him to bring some more information within 15 days, and we left. I asked Kim Sul-yang, 'Are you the only spies, or are there any more?' He answered, 'The number of spies, as far as I know, is about 40 or so. They are all scattered in our camps in Sunan and Kangso, and infiltrate as far as Sukchon, Anju, and Uiju. They move around freely and report whatever they find to the enemy. I was very surprised and immediately submitted a report to the king. At the same time, I conducted an investigation on the rest of the spies and learned their names. Then I quickly distributed their names to the units of our army and let them search out the spies whose names were on the list I sent. Some of them were caught, others were not. Then I ordered Kim Sul-young to be taken out and beheaded outside the fortress. Not long after this incident, the Ming army arrived, but the enemy was unaware of it because their spies, who used to provide them with information, were all scared and had disappeared. This incident of capturing spies was accidental but quite timely. Looking back, it was so timely that I might say it was the will of the heavenly providence." Alright, so now let's see what the ninja historian Anthony Cummins has to say about this.
Right, first of all, we look at the word ninja. Traditionally, it's shinobi no mono. So let's just say ninja, but because we're on YouTube, so everybody understands. So ninja, were they using ninja? First of all, this document is in Korean. and I don't know the word they use for spy. I assume it's their generic word for spy. It is not in Japanese, fact number one. So it wouldn't, the original document would not say shinobi or ninja, but I would like to know what it does actually say. One day we'd try and find that and see how close the Korean is, whether they're using ideograms or not. What language are they actually using in Korea? Now, in the world of ninja research, even if I was to be extremely conservative, by the time of the Japanese invasions of Korea in the 1590s, the word shinobi is well known. You know, it's really building up. If you're unaware, in some of the research circles, basically some people say, oh, the Japanese ninja were sort of an invention of the 1600s or the Edo period. But actually, we know full well that the word started to become very much used at the end of the Sengoku period, early Edo period. It's a difficult debate, but I've been through that on my channel. So what we have here is the idea that shinobi should be in Japan, because nobody's debating that they existed, and they are existing around this time, and it seems to be fine around this time. But what are the spies that are infiltrating the Korean camp? Who are these spies? So in Japanese history, in Japanese military history, you have shinobi no mono, infiltrators, and kanja, those people who look for gaps, spies. But there are other ways to describe spies as well, so it's not always ninja, unfortunately. But here, what we have in Korea is clearly people speaking in Korean, unless the actual Korean peasants are speaking in Japanese, which I doubt. So we know there's going to be a linguist involved. A linguist has approached Korean soldiers for them to work as double agents, or maybe not double, but as a secret agent, if you like, or an internal agent in the enemy. Straight out of Sun Tzu, basically. So what we have here is a messenger or somebody taking messages back and forward, and the Japanese have infiltrated the Koreans. They've infiltrated in their language and then made sure that any messages are getting relayed back to their command tent so they can read them and then follow and get that and know what the Koreans are doing. And of course, this spy who's captured is asked, are there any more in our camp? It's like 40. So that means this is where living spies from Sun Tzu do their job. So living spies from Sun Tzu, it's not always about creeping. Go into the enemy, dressed as the enemy, using the dialect of the enemy. So this might be a Korean who's been changed and becomes a ninja, or this could be a shinobi who's learned all about language. So we use the term Dako no Shinobi, somebody who speaks lots of languages and dialects. And then they've gone, talked to the Koreans, made contact, probably before the war really kicked off. We're not quite sure. And they then have got them to deliver, work for them, and they've paid them in cows and in silk, expensive commodities then. So you have to understand that the Japanese are capturing things and keeping at least 40 cows or bolts of silk to the side, and are giving them to the Koreans. And the thing here, which is amazing, is the Koreans clock that's out of context. Like, that guy in this situation cannot afford a cow. Maybe in peacetime he can, but he just walked in to, our camp with a cow. Where have you got that cow from, sir? It's mine. No, it's not. Nobody's got a cow. We're in the middle of a war. They've all been slaughtered, captured, or we've fed off them. Where have you got this from? Well, actually, the Japanese have just give it to me because I'm a spy. And then the Koreans get a list of spies, decapitate him, get rid of all the spies, or some run away, and it destroys the espionage from the Japanese side. So this is a wonderful example of espionage being used in Korea by the Japanese. But we just don't have any document that says it's ninja. So it might not be ninja, but it is very much an aspect that comes under ninjutsu, because the mistake most viewers are making, that ninjas dress in black and run around and all that. No, ninjas dress like normal people, dress like the enemy, go in there and talk to them and creep in and infiltrate if they have to. And the aim of the living spy, which is from Sun Tzu's 5 types of spies, is to go around to local spies or internal spies or double spies and collect information. And this is classic Sun Tzu spy espionage. So if you're interested in that, please do get a copy of The Ultimate Art of War, which is a step-by-step guide to the teachings of Sun Tzu. And he talks about that in there. And I just want to say thanks to Stefan for letting me on his channel. That's excellent. And it's one step closer to understanding how the Japanese were using espionage. Now, if you read this book, which is an excellent book, by the way, you can see they're using scouting, ambushing, night attacks. There's everything there that they're using. It's totally got what it says in all the manuals that come later. Without a doubt, 3-column movements, ambushes, pushing out. And it seems also spying and espionage, which probably is where the ninja come in. All right, back to Stefan.
All right, thank you, Mr. Cummins. Okay, so now I want to ask you guys, what do you think? Were these ninja? You gotta admit, it's actually very compelling, right? Either way, I want to hear your opinions in the comment section down below, and I'll see you next time.